What's up, YouTube, and welcome to the Orchard. My name is Apple the Meister, aka Gundam Meister 00, and today I will be reviewing another Iron Saga unit. In case you're new to the channel, let me give you a little rundown of what I call the Robot Babes. Basically, each video in the series, I will review a unit based on viability, functionality, affordability, and aesthetics. After that, I give it a sexiness rating that you can do whatever you want with, such as make an informed decision on what mech you want to put on your team. Now, without further ado, introducing the only mecha with animal magnetism, the best suck, the Riot Police.
いくらドリスわあすごい小さいからって
FBI, open up!
The Riot Police, or the Popo, sees play in higher levels of PvP due to its effectiveness as an anti-melee tank and great crowd control user. However, due to his range weapons, its AI can become a little quirky. Also, Popo is probably one of the hardest mechs to build correctly. In-game, the Riot Police is the final form of the Ranger series. It was commissioned by General Powers to curb stomp the bad guys and suck them. After making him a whole new paint job, it finally looks like an S-rank mech and not the boring mob garbage that is the Ranger. Player side, the Popo is one of the only SSS rank crowd control tanks in the game. As you will find out in other reviews, crowd control is harder to utilize correctly due to the meta favoring pilots that resist debuffs. The Popo sets itself apart by being tanky enough to earn a spot on rosters as an anti-melee tank with a respectable frontline. Contrary to its free-to-play buildable status, it's obnoxiously picky on parts, and its dependence on top-tier pilots to fix its weaknesses means other, better mechs might miss out on some meta waifu action. You can potentially throw in some off-meta crowd control pilots, Vanessa needs more gameplay, but the Popo is better off tanking than spanking. The Riot Police has some very solid PvE usage since PvE units don't necessarily have debuff resistance, and its weapons are still SSS rank level weapons, meaning its DPS is dependable enough for most content. Blue posters, it can seem some play with Vesper as a pilot, but that's on Judith Vatican teams, and you're better off running 6 Sin 3s if you're running Judith Vatican. The Riot Police's loadout is actually really robust and hides some secret burst damage that can potentially catch a melee unit with its pants down. It has chassis abilities that would be considered very strong on a traditional melee tank, and its iconic ability, EM Attraction, can turn the tides of battle, and is a stealth of raunchy memes. Its first weapon, the Shatter Tracker, is actually a really great EM weapon. 630 EM per shot every 4 seconds is unignorable, and sometimes the opponent becomes so shook it took such damage it gets stunned. Damn. The Riot Pistols, aka Sexy Guns, are nothing more than 4-play weapons. Normal type shotguns that shoot 5 pellets dealing 130 damage every 2 seconds is not much. The normal attribute is its one saving grace due to part selection, but more on that later. The tear gas bomb are shotgun missiles that fire 9 straight fire missiles that deal 130 damage each and can apply blind. The Riot Police, as the name suggests, employs 2 Riot Gear melee weapons, a rank 5 normal attribute magnetic Riot Shield that will just smack any bad boy around, and a rank 4 EM Baton for those naughtier boys who didn't get the message the first time. Chassis-wise, it has 2 great defensive abilities that won't be wasted. Suppression Armor reduces damage by a whole 20% if it's in range of its weapons. While lackluster versus traditional ranged units, the Popo has many ways to get melee units to pay attention to it. Emergency Shield is pretty simple. When the Popo is below 15%, it will deploy a Hater Shield and reflect all long-range negativity away from it. It's surprisingly clutch, and it's not a bad ability at all. Now we all know we are here for the Vanessa Suck memes. The Popo is basically a ranger who decided it wanted some waifu action, so it learned how to pick up girls with literal magnetism and got a great paint job. Never underestimate a great paint job, you gacha players who would rather roll on banners than replace that beater you call a car, because the Riot Police has transcended the realm of mecha and is now the definition of animal magnetism. It has the best suck in the universe, and no pilot, male, female, or cyborg, can avoid the party that is bound to happen around the Popo once it has revealed the God-given gift known as attraction. Weirdly, he gets ready to shoot after the action, then just kinda wilts. When the Popo is presented with a choice, it can go one of two ways. Either it puts everything into its suck skills and hope that's enough to impress some nearby waifus, or, in his fear of forever being alone, commits brutality with a taser and a baton. Regardless, the problem is that the Popo must remain a tank, so it needs parts that mitigate damage and parts that accent whichever way you decide to go. For pilot selections, you got lots, but they're all good pilots that are better off than top tier damage dealers and tanks. For the good suck build, we have an anti-range pilot and an anti-melee pilot. Orbro has unlimited active skills, and paired with maintenance core, is pretty solid sustained synergy. Next up, we have Vesper, and you have a Judith based team, by all means put Vesper in the very sexy Popo. TLDR, both have mitigation skills, and both I like to do things to. You know, maybe take to dinner or something. Maybe a movie. I don't know. Maybe I should just join the police force. For the taser build, we have Elaine and Carol. Both have the skill dedication, which means that taser is doing double damage. That's a whopping base 1260 EM damage a shot. Carol has unyielding, which is never bad, and the clone is an extra body to grab aggro. Elaine has natural hard shell, plus her active means she rapid fires the taser, if such a thing is possible. They lack certain things that the good suck pilots possess, but that's to be talked about in private. Sadly, Vanessa doesn't make it to this list. Like, I bet the mystery individual that Vanessa likes is probably the Popo, but Vanessa just doesn't fit. Her passive endurance recovery doesn't stack with maintenance core, and buffing the EM chance is useless at higher tiers of play. However, Vanessa has a suck skill, arguably better than the Popo's, since it sucks so good it deals damage. I imagine a future where Vanessa and Popo will double team on unsuspecting pilots left and right. But until America is ready to accept us degenerate gacha players exist, we can only dream. Sorry, baby. Aesthetically, the Ride Please is awesome. For those true mecha enthusiasts, the Ride Please reminds me of the Patlabor robots from that show, and it's no coincidence that the Police's colors are American colors. No, I'm not gonna compare Chris Evans to the Popo, but damn me if I didn't try to find a tasteful image of an attractive police officer. The sprite is very badass looking. Notice the big ass taser, just tucked away, just hoping for someone to try him. And let's not forget, the animation for the suck is glorious to behold, even if it fails to follow up on such an effective action. While I like the default stock photo, I don't like this rendition of the Popo. It's very blocky and disproportionate. Just fails to capture the magnificence and sexiness that is the Riot Police. Okay, I hope I didn't lose anyone with the sheer amount of sexual innuendos, but if you have made it this far, thank you very much, and don't forget to leave a like. I will be releasing another video about the Riot Police going in depth on the various builds and options this sucker can take, alongside another unit review. So don't forget to subscribe so your fruit roll-ups can be the first to watch them as soon as they're released. On viability, I give it a 9 out of 10. When built properly, the Riot Police dominates the battlefield, and if you are still in mid-tier PvP, be ready to one-shot those various unyielding cancer builds that plague that level of arena. The problem is that the Riot Police is a greedy mech that will probably take some of your best pilots away from better units. As you go higher, hardshell becomes more common, and the surprise DPS falls off and the teams are more streamlined, and main damage dealers such as Lancelot Teresa are immune to the Popo's crowd control. In future content, when we get Kai and pilots such as Mitsuki or Hitomi, the Riot Police only gets better, so look forward to that. Functionality, I'm forced to give it a 6 out of 10. I would give it a much higher rating, but like the reason above, its job of crowd control is better left to grapplers, and its one main DPS tool is countered by the very common hard shell. However, it's still a great tank that will eat damage for a long time, and with Orbro can potentially clutch losing situations. Aesthetically, I'll give it a risky 10 out of 10. Wherever you stand politically, you can't deny police themes are just plain cool to look at, and the sprite is very animated. It's just so much fun to watch, and in a game where our only control of the battle is how we build our teams, that goes a long way. The Riot Police has shards on the same stages as the Albatross and the Lolly Gunner, so farming for it can be very rewarding. But the purple parts have poor blue replacements, so good luck with those purple shard chests. After thinking long and hard and failing to find a tasteful photo of a sexy police officer, my verdict is Noah Izumi. The Popo has a lot going for it, and while its weaknesses are many, those can be patched up with some smart pilot and part selection. Once again, thank you so much to those who watched all the way to the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Go ahead and tell me in the comments which Iron Saga unit you would like me to review next. And don't forget that this time I will be releasing a in-depth build video for the rifle alongside the unit. This has been a great day in the orchard, and remember kids, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.